Welcome back to Legacy in Action. Today, we're moving into the next layer of personal stewardship, self-leadership. This is where what you believe on the inside starts showing up in how you live and lead every day. To give us more insight on this topic, please welcome our host, Jonathan Ramos.
Welcome back to the Legacy in Action podcast. I'm Jonathan Ramos, author of Legacy in Action. In our last episode, we talked about self-governance, the power of calm and control. In essence, we built clarity through mindset and control through mastery. And now we move to the next layer of personal stewardship, which is self-leadership. And this is where we turn conviction into direction. Why? Because leadership without legacy is just management without meaning. So let me take you back to a defining season in my life, a moment that sits between chapter 6 and chapter 7 of Legacy in Action book. And after the fall of my venture, Comprahan Supermercado, I had nothing left but questions. The dream was noble to give farmers a fair marketplace, but the stalls were empty, the gates padlocked, and hope felt distant. In that silence, I began to rebuild not a business, but myself. What started as recovery became my reflection. What felt like loss became realignment. And then one day, in the middle of that slow rebuilding, something shifted. A small group of family-owned businesses asked for guidance, not just on profit, but on how to stay united as families while running their enterprises. As I listened to their stories, I recognized pieces of my own. That same struggle between family and business, love and leadership, profit and purpose. I realized this was my lane. And that quiet realization became the seed of premier family business consulting. And it began with 12 families who trusted the process. No fancy office, no capital, just conviction, a whiteboard, and faith that unity could be the greatest form of wealth. And that is where Legacy in Action truly began. Not in success, but in surrender. It was the moment conviction on the inside shaped direction on the outside. It was when purpose became mission and mission became movement. That transition taught me what self-leadership really means. It's leading from within when your actions flow from conviction, not convenience. It's when your why becomes visible on how you live, not just what you say. In my case, the why was clear: to unite families in business as the supreme model for generational wealth. That clarity became my compass, shaping every meeting, partnership, and decision since. Self-leadership isn't about controlling others. It's about guiding yourself so that influence carries meaning. Here, the core principle of legacy is not what you leave behind. It's actually what you set in motion. Let me now give you the tools for practicing self-leadership. We need tools to practice self-leadership because leadership needs structure to grow purposefully. Do you agree? So here we go. First is a RGR Framework. Remember? The roles, goals, rhythm. So let's look into it individually. Let's say roles. Can you identify your key responsibilities like as parent, mentor, or leader? Or if we say, and then we say goals. One clear 90-day goal per role. And then what are the rhythms, like a weekly practice that sustains it, and you'll be able to reflect, maybe have that family meal, reading together what you believe in. This builds structure around your purpose. Well, classic example might be like a role as parent. The goal is to have a 12 Sunday dinners, and then the rhythm would be every Sunday 6 p.m. with gratitude around. Another example of a role is actually about you being a leader. And then the goal will be launch one governance program. And then the rhythm is like every Wednesday 9 a.m. you will have a strategy session. Remember, small rhythms build big continuity. All right, the next tool is actually the 90-day map. So here you'll choose one goal and you'll commit to for 90 days. So every week you review, what progress did I make? And then you adjust. But please stay consistent. Progress is not about speed. It is about steady stewardship. Next is mentorship as multiplication. Legacy grows through people, right? And so for this tool, you can identify one person you can mentor or encourage this month, because influence multiplies through others. So the fourth tool is what we call living with principles. And guess what? Primarily to outlast you. So in this principle, I think you need to ask yourself before every big decision, is this aligned with my purpose? Is this fair to the people affected? Is this faithful to my values, even if no one notices? That is leadership guided by stewardship. Now let's go down to legacy moves. Remember, these are the action items, or what we call action steps. There are 3 action steps that I have prepared for you. First is to complete your RGR for at least 2 roles. Second is schedule one 30-minute mentoring session with the next generation leader. And third one is to write your 3-value filter for major decision like purpose, people, and principles. These moves translate your mission into motion. Why? Because self-leadership is the bridge between inner conviction and outward continuity. And it's not about leading louder, it's about leading longer. And when purpose becomes practice and mission becomes movement, you create a legacy that others can continue. Yes, others can continue. And it all begins with leading the hardest person to lead, yourself. This completes our 3-part journey on personal stewardship. Next, we'll explore how leading self transforms into leading family in our next pillar, which is unified cohesion. This is very exciting. Unity and family unity put together is equals to unified cohesion. I'm Jonathan Ramos. You can call me John Ramos, and thank you for walking with me in building a life and a legacy in action.
Self-leadership isn't about being louder or more in control. It's about being aligned and consistent. When you lead yourself well, you create a legacy others can carry forward. Thanks for listening, and see you in the next episode as we continue building a life built on what matters most. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with your family and friends who will benefit from these insights.